In 2017, YouTube was overtaken by a trend that we still kind of somewhat see today. YouTube diss tracks. Back when all the popular YouTubers were essentially making diss tracks on each other, it was like a rite of passage very similar to what the apology video is now. Before we had Drake versus Kendrick, we had Drake versus Meek Mill, which inspired the YouTuber RiceGum to start making diss tracks on YouTube, which then inspired an entire era that took over once the Viner invasion came around. But this is YouTube's diss track era.
My confession is
on January 17th, 2017, the app Vine shut down. If you don't know what Vine is, it was 7-second videos of like the funniest shit ever. That's where people like King Bach really blew up. It was essentially TikTok before TikTok. Before Jake Paul had his boxing career and before Logan Paul made fucking carbon dioxide in a sports bottle, they were Vine star. And when the app died, a bunch of Viners came over to YouTube, which is now coined the Viner invasion. People like Logan Paul and Jake Paul, all of them came over here and started becoming successful YouTubers. And on May 30th, 2017, Jake Paul dropped one of the worst YouTube songs to ever grace the website.
It's every day, bro, with the Disney Channel.
This song is the model reason for why the rap community started to not take YouTube rappers seriously, like at all. And this was the starting point for Team 10, which was Jake Paul's content group at the time. Content groups existed way before Team 10, but they were probably the biggest group ever. I would say Team Crafted, but that didn't even last like 3 months. They had a mansion where they were filming videos, just like how every other LA content group is inspired by now. Team 10 set the trend. And there were 2 members a part of Team 10, Jake Paul and then Alyssa Violet. Jake Paul and Alyssa Violet had a relationship, and essentially that relationship turned to absolute shit. It was everywhere. It was viral. There was this other girl named Tessa Brooks, and apparently there was allegations of Jake Paul cheating on Alyssa Violet with Tessa Brooks, and Tessa Brooks in Team 10 was the competition shook. Yeah, the guy's up on me. Fucking ass, bro. Which then led a few people to capitalize on this controversy. Introducing RiceGum and Logan Paul. On June 3rd, 2017, Logan Paul dropped his diss track, The Fall of Jake Paul, in response to Jake Paul's song, Low Gang Sucks. He talks about how trash Jake's acting is on Bizarre, which was the Disney show Jake Paul used to be on, which also had Olivia Rodrigo. That's a crazy timeline. He talks about how he's the better brother. He talks about how Logan essentially made Jake who he is today. He's exposing the fact that Team 10 makes no money and that Jake Paul takes 10% of all the members' revenue. Kind of crazy, to be honest. I made you famous once, it's about to happen twice. So when I first heard that line, I thought that was the hardest bar to ever exist, bro. When he got really up and close and personal with the camera and he was like, if there's one thing you should know, you don't fuck with the Logan. And then the white boys come on and then they're like, oh, the bomb thought. I don't know why they were there, but honestly, they had the catchiest part of the song. You ain't doing it. But this entire diss track actually stopped halfway through on a cliffhanger. Why? Because Logan Paul wanted people to trend hashtag the second verse on Twitter so that Logan Paul could release the second verse, which is gonna be the Hiroshima to Jake Paul's Japan. It's gonna drop a bomb on the YouTube rap game, man. And on July 9th, he finally dropped the diss track, and oh my God, is that Alyssa Violet? Used to be your shit. Now she in the low gang, and you know she on my team. Crazy opening bar, bro. I act in movies that your fans watch with the babysitters. I thought you was my boy. Guess I have a baby sister. Yeah. All of the kids back in the day loved airplane mode, and especially the thinning. And by kids, I mean me. I was a maverick back in the day. When the contract dies, so does your career. It ends. That's also a fact. Which actually, unironically, is probably the best aging thing of this entire diss track, because I don't hear about anything that has anything to do with Team 10. And then at the end of the video, Alyssa Violet, Logan Paul, they're about to kiss. Oh my God! So now we're probably wondering, where the fuck does RiceGum come into all of this? Well, during 2017, RiceGum was very well known for dropping diss tracks on other creators. As I mentioned before, he's kind of the whole reason that this is even a trend. RiceGum was a clout demon and saw the opportunity to hop on a wave, made a reaction video with Alyssa Violet to It's Everyday Bro, and then they teased the diss track, got the fans hype. The fans were like, yo, drop that diss track. And they did. They called it Every Night Sis, which goes down in history as probably one of the best YouTube diss tracks to ever drop. Even if you don't like the song, the impact that this had on YouTube was absolutely fucking crazy, dude. They talk about how Jake Paul used to bully kids back in high school, how he gets no girls, how he can't rap. how his cars are rented, and, you know, of course, how he cheated. All of that just for the song to go platinum. A YouTube diss track went platinum. Watching all of these diss tracks drop was crazy. As a Maverick fan back in the day, as a Rice Gum fan back in the day, as a Jake Paul hater back in the day, those diss tracks were absolutely fire. Now, the thing is that Jake never officially responded to Rice Gum's diss track. Instead, they kind of turned it into like a content house beef where the Clout House representing Rice Gum, Team 10 representing Jake Paul, and they would like fight each other and like do pranks and shit like that. You know, the real winners are Paul Rice Gum and Alyssa Violet. But speaking of Rice Gum, obviously this wasn't the only diss track beef that he was a part of. If anything, it actually gets way worse from here. Rice Gum versus iDubbbz. While iDubbbz right now is known for being a washed up cuck, back then he was a behemoth, a force to be reckoned with. Every bad unboxing got like 7 million views on average. And then obviously what made his entire career is Content Cop, and then also his appearances on the Filthy Frank channel, of course. Just all of these things, like all at once. Like there's no way we was just getting all this content all at once, man. Nowadays, the Content Cop doesn't seem as much of a special idea, but essentially the Content Cop was take a creator and then deconstruct their content and then deconstruct them as a person. And since iDubbbz was a very smart like debater, he was essentially really good with articulating his points. So all of these Content Cops would get tens of millions of views, and depending on who the video was about, the person would lose like hundreds and thousands of subscribers, and everyone would be like, fuck them. It would ruin their reputation. So of course, on October 3rd, 2017, when iDubbbz dropped Content Cop Jake Paul, everyone thought that Jake Paul's career was over. Obviously, as we're looking back now, the Content Cop kind of had no impact on anyone's career, but you know what? It's cool. We're all kids back then. We're thinking, oh my god, finally the end of Jake Paul. Well, actually, the video was about Rice Gum. Rice Gum about a year ago had begged iDubbbz to make a Content Cop on him. Come on, iDubbbz, I want all the smoke. iDubbbz titled the video that way so that it didn't inflate Rice Gum's ego. So essentially calling him the Asian Jake Paul.
You're fucking delusional.
Which honestly is as literal as it gets. Obviously, a lot of the points in the Content Cop makes a lot more sense at the time. Rice Gum is not really at the top of his game as he is now, but if you watched him and you watch this Content Cop, oh, that nigga destroyed him. Talks about Rice Gum's unnecessary flexing, his clickbaiting, his laziness, his insecurities, the fact he might have a ghostwriter, his entitlement, and a little cherry on top. iDubbbz dropped a diss track, giving Rice Gum a taste of his own medicine. This Content Cop went on to be the most viewed Content Cop. This diss track was literally everywhere, with cameos from H3H3, fucking Jax Films, and then PewDiePie! Every lyric on this diss track has some sort of deeper meaning to it. But it's cool after smashing you, I'll pay pal you 2K? That's a reference back in the day when Gabby Hanna, the person that's known for the what if I'm the monster, basically alleged that Rice Gum hit her because she was invading his personal space at a party. Rice Gum addressed all of it in a diss track called I Didn't Hit Her. Hey, you look afraid, must have seen a ghost rider. It's one of the cardinal sins of being a rapper is if you're gonna flaunt your power as a lyricist, you can't have a writer. With more lines dissing Asian jokes, his narcissistic career, even a final line where he's like, but I got one question to ask you, bro. Did it feel good though? It's essentially a dig at Rice Gum. On a stream, there was a woman that opened up about her SA experience. After she gave an entire monologue and opened up to Rice Gum, his only response was,
No, but did it feel good though?
Try doing that in 2024. Just try it. So then, of course, on October 10th, 2017, Rice Gum dropped his diss track response to iDubbbz, and it's absolute garbage as a diss track. When I take the idea that it's a diss track out, I actually kind of like it, you know, sonically. But the first line will tell you everything that you need to know about this diss track. A 30-minute vid, I'm who you're obsessed with. You look like your sister is the girl that you have sex with. He then calls iDubbbz a school shooter, tells him to stop fucking PewDiePie in the ass, and that he's fast like the Flash. If you go through the genius lyrics, it's just not good. It's not a good response compared to iDubbbz, who had the wordplay, he had the double meanings, and then deconstructed Rice Gum as a character. Just did it sonically and verbally for 30 minutes. iDubbbz won, no challenge. But now that two of the most popular diss track beefs are out of the way, I'm going to end this video talking about a diss track beef that I feel like tops both of these. One person was left naked and afraid, and the other one came out the victor. I think that this next diss track beef is literally one of the best beefs that YouTube has ever fucking seen. Kudeka. Nowadays, he's known a lot for his masterpieces From Me to You and I Didn't Mean to Haunt You. Well, back in the day, he was a YouTube rapper, popular off of songs like You Can't Rap and We Music Fire, and you know, back in the day, that shit really was fire. Quodeka, compared to all the other YouTube rappers, was the best. I was an early fan of Quodeka, alright? And KSI back in 2018. Before he would go on to be known as a behemoth, this was during his transition period. Every celebrity goes through this. It's a very awkward time in their career. People don't know how to really think about them, and KSI was going through this. He was having his whole transformation where he wanted to be a rap star. He was gonna quit YouTube. He's gonna do all this other shit before KSI became the KSI we know now. But back then, he had the hugest ego. On November 17, 2018, Mini Minter, a member of Sidemen, dropped a podcast featuring KSI and Randolph, and they got onto the topic of Quodeka, and KSI just completely dissed him. Essentially said he's better than him, all this other shit. And Quodeka back in the day used to take any little thing that any other creator used to say about him and essentially turn that into a diss track. It was really good marketing, but this was really when it paid off. He wasted no time. On November 23rd, 2018, Insecure dropped, and holy shit, this would require literally its own video. With bars such as hairline so fucked up your barber is take heat. It's a reference to the producer tag, take heat, fuck these niggas up. He fucked them up. And he's a nigga. They torture people with your music back in North Korea. Hold on. Come here. Call Shane Dawson. I think this guy's a sociopath. Huh? I'm small, I'm skinny, I'm white, I got a lisp, I'm awkward, and I'm fucking better than you. Bro just pulled a fucking 8 Mile. I have to mention one last line. The hardest line of the whole diss track. Logan Paul, come and film this. I think I just killed a man, bitch. Which leads into the beat switch, which goes into even faster flows and killer fucking bars. Goddamn. He mentions how KSI can't take criticism, how KSI might be on his 4th abortion, which was actually revealed by his brother, how KSI is a narcissist, KSI falling off, and how at the time didn't have any pictures without a bandana on because his hairline was something he was insecure about. There's a contender a part of this diss track beef that I did not mention, which was Deji, KSI's brother. He dropped a diss track on December 4th, 2018. The diss track is fire, but it's very, very personal, and I don't want to get too off topic because I'm over here glazing Quodeka. Back to Quodeki. KSI drops his diss track, which is the only reason I'm really mentioning Deji is because the diss track is a response to Quodeka and Deji and his crew of goons, all right? KSI raps about how he looks down on Quodeka, how Quodeka is a fan and only blew up after mentioning KSI. KSI raps about how Quodeka went downhill after his girlfriend left him. It's pretty awesome. And then probably the best line of the entire fucking diss track is Quodeka and KSI both got their start from FIFA, but essentially he tells Quodeka, I still beat you at a FIFA game. When KSI's response dropped, I was thoroughly disappointed. He had bars like, I am the lyrical spiritual miracle. Like, bro, get... And then this entire diss track beef actually ended on a really good note, which is a great note to end this video on. KSI, Randolph, and Quodeka ended up making a song called Roll the Dice. KSI invited Quodeka to perform on his tour, and then they fucking twiddled their dicks into the sunset and said, what a day. And obviously revisiting these diss tracks for me is like a form of nostalgia. These diss tracks meant so much to me. I've already mentioned in previous videos before about how diss tracks are one of my favorite subgenres of rap. You know, and this era was a very huge era because back in the day, that's when a lot of people did not respect YouTube rappers, you know, rappers that came from YouTube or YouTubers that started making music. Nowadays, the same sentiment doesn't really exist. I feel like you can be a YouTuber while also being a musician, like KSI. He's one of the biggest rappers in UK. Like he's a rap star, genuinely. Obviously, you have people like Quodeka still making music where he's making fucking masterpieces, and then you have people like Tuv who are about to break boundaries with their music where they're improving every single song while also simultaneously making videos. Like, it's not that bad of a sentiment anymore. I feel like being called a TikTok rapper is probably worse now. And nowadays, Jake Paul, Logan Paul, KSI, Quodeka, like I said, they're all breaking barriers in their own way. And now, this is my declaration. I want to bring back YouTube diss tracks. Let's get a second run in, all right? We had the Drake versus Kendrick beef. All right, if the Drake versus Meek Mill can inspire the first run, let's do another run. Come on, the people want to see it. We already saw what happened with Kendrick and Drake. The people want to see it. The people want to see it. So you know what? I'm starting it today. I have a diss track for you guys. I have a fucking diss track for you guys. It's the most fire thing you've ever seen. You know, fuck it. Roll the clip. Nigga, I just run a track meet. Nigga, I just slapped my meat. So you the miles is full. I be blood and it's like a color red. That's me, P. I sound like that guy from Smiling Friends. I really like Alan from Smiling Friends. Back in cheese to Smiling Friends. I really want to watch Smiling Friends. Como se llama, como se llama, como se llama. Tú se ne, tasa yo so ego yoga. I got yo. I'm this guy was a bitch. You know I'm a bitch. You know, Bruno. Monkey on the tree. You made a severe lapse in your judgment. You didn't feel like it was a judgment. 5 Nights at Freddy's like John Hutchman. His name is actually John Hutchman. That actually fits because you know is my son. Back from the store to whore. I feel like Future, your mother is a whore.
You know is a bit. You know is a bit. He's a bit. Gang shit, man.
ShopMrBeast.com, bitch. Fuck you, no miles. We need to start the YouTube diss track eras again.
Fuck Tommy and FG.
Fuck the generosity. Fuck One Cloud 9.
Fuck
bitches.
shit.
Fuck Pat God. Fuck JoJo Siwa. Fuck Miranda Cosgrove. You know Miles likes Pixie. You know Miles was 14 when he stopped pissing the sheets. You know Miles, you gon' meet Jamaica when stepping to me. You're too pussy to make a disresponse. You're my enemy.